Right, morning folks. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday workshop. We've got Pathways on the line with us today. So I will let Stephen and Tim introduce themselves and take over from there. Thanks, guys.
Lovely, thanks, Emma. So hello, thanks for joining us all today. As you probably know, we're here to talk a little bit about taking a careers first approach to student recruitment, and we'll be looking over our range of Pathways careers tools to show how they can help. So for those of you who don't know us, I'm Stephen. On the other screen is my colleague Tim, and we first released Pathways back in 2018. And so Pathways is a range of tools that allow you to show your students the link between courses and careers. So we've spoken a few times before at College Marketing Network events over the last couple of years, really just about our research into the whole area surrounding careers, careers data, engaging with students through careers and progression information. So it's really nice to be back again. So right now we have over 75 colleges using Pathways within their websites. And I think we're really interested to understand any areas where we can help. So not only where we can sort of improve the Pathways products, but also to help you as colleges to engage with your audience, to give you the tools that you need and really ultimately to help in your student recruitment processes. So we know that students go to colleges for a number of reasons, but mainly because they want to be an engineer or a midwife or to work with animals. They see college as the best way to get the right training, the qualifications that will lead to the job they want to do. Someone doesn't enroll on a health and social care course because that's their goal. It's because they want to be a nurse or a midwife or a care worker. So college is only the beginning of their journey. It's not the actual destination, but a means to help them get to where they want to go, to give them the skills, the qualifications, to help them get the job they really want. College is that connection to their future careers. Sorry, my slides have gone. So the way you market your courses should really look beyond the course and map to the careers that students go on to do, to show progression, to demonstrate how doing your course can help them achieve their goal, and to set the bar, to give them something to aspire to. Clear and high quality labour market information and careers data can really help students and their parents make informed choices about what to do next. And it can present many options that they didn't even know existed. So you can say to students, if you come and study at our college on this course, you could progress to this career, earning this amount of money with these employment prospects. By integrating careers data, you're adding marketing collateral to your courses, you're adding value. And also applicants who are fully informed on the route to their chosen career and understand their future employment prospects are better suited to the courses for which they apply. So as I said, we first launched Pathways back in 2018. And over the last 4 years, this has grown to become a suite of 5 different products, all based on the core goal of helping you engage with prospective students and highlight the progression from your courses to their chosen career. And all of these products have been informed by your feedback or suggestions, where you've expressed a desire to be able to use careers information in different ways with students. So what we'd like to do today is just to take you on a bit of a tour of these 5 products, to show you examples of how colleges are using Pathways to help take this careers first approach. Now, I know some of you might be familiar with elements of what Pathways offers. However, we've recently launched a few new tools as well. So hopefully you'll find this run through valuable to show how it could help in your own website and with kind of those student recruitment processes. So we're going to start by looking at Pathways Explore. So we launched the Explore tool at the end of last year, so only a few months ago. And Explore is a searchable careers library embedded in your website, and it's all mapped through to your courses. So Explore allows you to engage early with students around careers. So as we know, not all students know the course that they want to do, but they might have a good idea about the career sector that they'd like to work in. And because it's a fully searchable tool, it can also uncover careers that people may not have considered before or even have heard of. So, all careers link through to your courses. So you can initially engage people through careers and then funnel them through to your course pages where they can see the course specific details and ultimately apply for that course. And the Explore tool also includes a profile quiz. So students can go through sort of 30 multiple choice questions, and the tool then suggests the type of personality that they are based on their answers, and then presents a list of possible careers matching these answers. So I think the best way to kind of show this is to do a demo. So how we're going to do this today, I'm going to do the bit of talking with the slides, and Tim's going to do the demos. So we're now going to look at St Brendan's College, where Tim's going to do a demo of Pathways Explore. So I'm going to pass the screen over to Tim, and he's going to do a bit of a demo.
Great. Let's see. Okay, so hopefully everyone now can see my screen. So hi everyone. So as Steve says, what I'm going to do today is just give you a quick demo of Explore. I'm going to do it on the St Brendan's Sixth Form College website. But before I kind of delve into the demo, what I wanted to do is just talk a bit about how you might want to kind of embed Explore into your site and how it kind of fits into the structure of your website. So the first thing that we'd recommend is that you create kind of a new page that is kind of a full width page within your site. Here we can see on St Brendan's website that they've created a page. It's called Explore by Career, and you can see here on the top right the way through to the kind of pagination right at the bottom of the page. All this is the Explore product. So you can see it's quite a big tool, and it requires its own kind of page really. And so the other question is, how do you then kind of fit it once you've created your page? How do you then kind of fit it into the structure of your website? So again, I can show you how St Brendan's have done it. So on their homepage, they have this kind of find a course section right at the top of the page here. And under that search bar, they've got a button to Explore by Career, and that just takes us directly to the Explore page. They also have in their main navigation under Find a Course, they've got a button here to Explore by Career as well. So it means that kind of obviously anyone can kind of get to this page from anywhere on the website. So so that's how St Brendan's have kind of integrated it into their site. I'm not saying this is the kind of the only way of doing it. I just thought it might be useful for you to see how another college has done it. So what I'm now going to do is just kind of give you a very quick demo of Explore, just to show you it. As Steve says, it's a very simple tool. There are essentially 800 careers in here, which allow students to kind of explore all those careers. And then what we do is we link those careers onto your courses. So we can see our results here. We can filter these results by keywords. So I can put in plumber here, and it'll bring out the plumber. Or alternatively, we can filter them by job sectors. So we have 26 different job sectors here. So if I just choose one, choose engineering. So this now has brings back all the different careers that we have within the engineering sector, and you can see there's quite a few there. So just looking at this kind of results page, we can see immediately that pretty much every career that we've got in here has got an image that's associated with it. We also kind of at a glance show the salary range here for each occupation. And you'll also notice that some of these careers have got this kind of pink badge with a number on it, and that's really just to indicate that the number of courses that this college has that are related to these occupations. So let's just kind of delve in. We'll just take look at one of these careers in more detail. So we'll go with this top one here, this 3D printing technician one. So what we get on this page, we get a bit more information about this job. We get to see what skills and knowledge we require. We also see what you'll do on a day-to-day basis, and we see some information on career path and progression options. We also bring in some labour market information here. So we've got the annual salary range, we've got future employment statistics, and we also show the level of qualification that the majority of people hold that do this occupation. And then below that, this is where we show the courses that this particular college offers, which are related to this occupation. So in here, we can literally just kind of go, right, okay, I can choose one of these courses we might be interested in. So let's say we're interested in computer science. So we can click through to that page, and that literally takes us directly to that page in the on this college's website. So we can then find out a bit more about that particular course if we wanted to and apply for it, obviously. I'm just going to go back to Explore again. And then below the related courses, what we also do is we bring back related careers as well to, so just really to kind of raise that awareness of, you know, other careers that this particular person might be interested in if they were looking at this occupation. And the last thing I wanted to show you about Explore is this new component that Steve was talking about earlier, which is our profile quiz component. So we have 30 different questions in here, and you can kind of, if I go through it, you can choose to agree or disagree with the statement above. I'll just quickly kind of fly through this. And then as I'm doing this, obviously, what Explore is doing is it's kind of assigning scores to my answers. And then what it does is it brings back a personality type. We have 6 different personality types. I'm a thinker, obviously, and what it's doing here is it tells me a bit about what a thinker is, what personality traits that a thinker has, and what it also does is it brings back some of the related careers to this personality type and how I've answered the questions, essentially. And again, you know, we could go into one of these careers if we wanted to, and you know, we could find out more information about it. So that's kind of Explore. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass you back to Steve, who's going to talk a bit more.
Lovely, thanks, Tim. Let me just pick up the screen again. Okay, hopefully everyone can see my screen again. So just as a kind of reminder here on this slide, I've just got a few pointers about Explore. And I think one thing to say here is that the Explore tool doesn't just need to be a marketing tool in your website. You can also use it with your current students or with schools as part of your career progression sessions or your career sessions. And by integrating all of this careers data into your website and to your career sessions, it's helping to fulfill your requirements against things like the Gatsby benchmarks and Ofsted's careers criteria. We've got a quote here from Adam at Priestley College. And I guess the way we're trying to do this today is just to give you a bit of an insight into how colleges are using the Pathways tools and to either help inspire you or to give you some guidance on how you might want to use them. So this is a quote from Adam. I was talking to Nikki from St Brendan's College earlier this week, and she was actually saying that how good the Explore tool is because it's got usage for both the marketing teams and the careers teams, which ultimately means they can split the license costs. They can kind of help with their budgets. They can kind of split that between the 2 different departments. So next we wanted to talk about our Pathways 1 tool. So Pathways 1 is our original Pathways tool. For those of you who don't know it, but those of you who have been using it, you've probably seen it evolve over the last kind of few years. And the ultimate aim of Pathways 1 is really to help you show career progression from your courses. So you embed it on your course and subject pages to show what people went on to do having studied that particular course. And it's all based on national progression data. So again, rather than me talk too much about it with slides, we're going to pass back to Tim, and he's going to run through some demos on the college you see on the screen of the different ways that you can embed the Pathways 1 tool into your website. So I'm going to hand over to Tim again.
Okay. So so we have 3 different versions of Pathways 1. The first one, which maps specific courses onto jobs. We have another one which maps, which is what we call our job sectors version. And then our third version, which is what we call our kind of custom version of Pathways 1. So what I'm going to do is going to talk you through kind of each one of those and just kind of show you how you might use one over the other. So the first one I'm going to talk about is our version that maps courses onto HE and then onto jobs. So what we're looking at here is Weymouth College's website, and we're looking at the Computing National Extended Diploma BTEC Level 3 course that they offer. And if I scroll down the page, you can see that they have embedded Pathways 1 into this particular course page. And you can see that it's picking up information for the BTEC Computing. And what it says is BTEC Computing students go to university and they study computer science and then get jobs as, firstly, programmers and software development professionals. And we can also see that what Pathways is doing here is it's actually showing the top 15 different jobs that people go on to do having studied an HE course in computer science. And for the moment, we'll stick on the first one, programmers and software development professionals. So if we look over to the right here, we can see that we're pulling out some labour market information for this occupation. So we're seeing an average salary here, and then we're seeing some future employment statistics. And if I click on this button here, we then get to see a bit more information about this occupation. So a short description. We also see a typical salary range. We show the working hours, and we show the level of qualification held by the majority of people who do the job. So for pretty much every occupation we have on Pathways 1, we show at least one video. You can see here we've actually got 6. And if you wanted to play this video, you literally just play in the like this. I won't play it for a moment. Get the idea. And what we can also do, if I click on this, we can find more information about this this occupation on a regional basis. So here we've got our map of the UK with our 12 different regions. And you can see here that we have highlighted the Southwest, and that's because Pathways knows that Weymouth College is in the southwest of the country. So what we're showing here is we're showing average salary for this this occupation and future employment statistics on a regional basis, and both those two things are pitched against the national average for those two things. And then below that, we're pulling out live job vacancies as well. And so what we can also do if we wanted to is we can jump around the different regions, and we can kind of compare and contrast the different regions too if we wanted to. So what we can also do if we were interested in being a programmer and software development professional, what we can also do here is we can see the potential study routes that we might want to take. So here what Pathways is doing is it's showing the top 4 routes that people have taken to do this job. So we're showing here the level 3 courses that they've taken, and also the HE courses that they've taken. And if we were, say, interested in studying computer science, what we can do is we can actually also find out where we might study it by pressing this button here. So here what we do is, again, we get our map of the UK with our 12 regions. And again, you can see we're highlighting the Southwest. And actually what you can see with this particular course, computer science, is that what Pathways has done here is it's worked out that actually Weymouth College actually offer an HE course in computer science. So it's highlighting it here at the top. But underneath that, what we're showing as well is all the other institutions that also provide an HE course in computer science, or a course that's like computer science, essentially. And so you can just click right down and you can see all the different courses they offer. And again, we can click the different regions and we can see all the different providers and their offerings. Like that. And the final screen I want to show you is our apprenticeship standards screen. So what this does, obviously, is it just, if we were interested in doing this occupation, it shows some of the apprenticeship standards that would be potentially open to you. Just really to raise awareness of apprenticeship options that are available, rather than just going down that traditional kind of classroom based learning route. So I'm now just going to head back to the beginning again. So all the information that we've seen so far have been for this top job here, this programmers and software development professionals. Now, what we could do if we wanted to is also look at all these other jobs as well. And you can see here that we're getting, the jobs are the information on the right hand side is changing as I'm selecting these other jobs, and likewise inside here, all the information is obviously different, but it's the same kind of stuff that we saw before. And so what we can also do is, if we were to study a BTEC in computing, there'd actually be more options open to us than just studying an HE course in computer science. And what Pathways can do is it can show, it's showing here the top 10 things that people have gone on to do having studied a BTEC in computing, and we can see these by clicking on this. And you can see that as I'm clicking on this, some of the jobs below are also changing as well. And actually by kind of cycling through this and kind of selecting these, we can show between 60 and 100 different occupations for this one single course. So yeah, so that's this version of Pathways 1, which is the version that we call our version that maps the courses. So yeah, it maps courses onto HE and then onto jobs. So we have over 800 different courses that we map to, and that includes A levels, T levels, SQA hires, access to HE, BTECs, other general vocational subjects, HE courses, and apprenticeships. Now, although so that's kind of it for this one, but there may be some instances where this particular version isn't quite right for you. It may be that you have a course that it doesn't actually, so there isn't that natural route onto HE. So you might have a more vocational course, for example, in which case what you might want to use is our other version of Path, which our jobs version. So here you can see we've got 26 different job sectors, and we have about 360 jobs. Basically what we do is we apply those jobs to the relevant job sector. So we can do what we can see here. This is actually Barking and Dagenham's website, and what they've done is they've actually embedded the entire job sector widget, and this is in their kind of like careers page, I think, and it's kind of used as kind of in this instance as kind of like an explorative tool. And what we can do is we can literally kind of jump into one of these job sectors, and we can have a look at all the jobs in there. And again, it's the same information that we saw before, but in this time, what's happened is all the jobs are obviously, rather than being applied to a job, they're actually applied to a course, they're applied to a job sector. So in that way, it's a much more kind of general tool, I guess. Again, you can have a look at all these other ones and you can see if you wanted. So rather than, what you can do as well, rather than just kind of embedding the entire kind of suite of job sectors, what you can also do is just embed a single job sector. So there we go. So here we can see on Activate Learning's website, they have a section which is their kind of like a subject area called engineering, and they have this for all their different subject areas. And what they've done is in this kind of the subject area, they have decided to use our job sector version. And you can see here they've used the job sector engineering version here for this page. So that's the job sector version. We have another version. So if both those two versions don't quite work for you, there is another niche version that we have, and it's called our custom version of Pathways. So the reason why you might use this is, and we've had a few colleges that have asked us for this, and it's where you have maybe some of your courses, they might be, people might go on to doing slightly different things to what our Pathways data is showing. And the reason for that is obviously our Pathways data comes from a national database, and it may be that you have your course has very specific things that people are going to do, in which case what you might want to do is create a custom version of Pathways, which then shows those occupations that people have gone on to do from your college. So that's one instance where you might want to use a custom one. You may also have a course which actually we don't have in Pathways or we don't show, in which case you might want to create a custom one. And that's actually what Sparshot College have got here. So they have this course that's called Arboriculture, Forestry and Woodland Management, and we don't cover this in Pathways. And so as a result, they have created a custom version of Pathways here. So what they've done is, what the custom version allows you to do essentially is to insert any kind of occupation into the widget like this. So that's what they've done for this one. And likewise on Havant and South Downs website. So they have a section, again, which is like a kind of subject area section that's called Creative Industries. And rather than use our job sector version, which they could have used here, what they decided was that actually the job sector version was a bit too broad for them. And so they needed a bit more tailored. So they had created a custom version for this. And you can see that they've made that down here. So that is the 3 different versions of Pathways 1 that we offer. As you can see, we're trying to cover all bases. So yeah, that's kind of it. I'm going to pass you back to Steve again, who's going to talk a bit more about Pathways 1, actually.
Lovely, thanks, Tim. Okay, so hopefully you're back on my screen again. So in the last demo there, Tim was showing Havant and South Downs College, and so Laura at Havant and South Downs uses Pathways throughout their website, and was actually one of the colleges to suggest the option of a custom widget, where she can build up these custom versions, as Tim just demonstrated, and kind of highlight the specific careers of interest on her pages across those parts of the website. And I know Laura is also a big user of the analytical tools as well that are running behind Pathways. She spends some time monitoring kind of different spikes throughout the year to see where students are kind of more likely to be interacting with different types of careers. And they have these custom widgets that they've kind of embedded across their interest pages. So she finds it really valuable to see like what the top 5 jobs that people are looking at across these different pages. So really, so for all instances that you have Pathways embedded in your website, analytical data is being recorded. So you can see how people are using and interacting with the tools, where you can see the types of careers they're looking at and engaging with the most, basically for every place that you've put Pathways in your website. And as I did before, just showing a few benefits here on this slide of using Pathways 1. I mean, of course, there's lots of benefits to show progression information from your courses. But one of the key things is to make sure that your applicants are fully informed about their future career options. Those that understand the route to their chosen career and their future employment prospects are better suited to the courses for which they apply. And we've got a quote here from Kathy at Strode College, who's just really talking about the ways that she finds Pathways valuable. She talks about helping them meet their Gatsby objectives, to ensure they drive applications and to obtain new students, that they can kind of raise their standards and set themselves above other providers and help curriculum staff show where their qualifications can lead. So that's kind of Pathways 1 in a nutshell, really. We now want to talk a little bit about Pathways Retrain, which was another tool that we launched last year. So the past couple of years have been extremely challenging for job seekers and employers, with approximately 700,000 Britons losing their jobs since the start of the pandemic. And in addition to this, more than 6 million people in the UK are employed in occupations that are likely to change radically or even disappear by 2030. And apparently 40% of us are in jobs that we dislike. So whilst these are challenging times, there's obviously opportunities as well. So understanding how best to support those who are most at risk from changes to the labour market and to help them upskill and retrain is really important. Sorry, so this is just a quote or a stat really from a City and Guilds Group report, which is really sort of highlighting what I've just said, that 1/3 of Britons want to change careers and 16% of them don't understand how their skills would be useful in another career. And so we know people don't always understand the skills they've gained from their current employment. So we need to help them to find the courses and training faster to begin their new career journey. And we want to help you to do this early in the user journey process on your website, so you can start that conversation early. So we built Pathways Retrain, which is a tool to help you engage with adult learners who are looking to either change careers, to retrain or upskill. So I think, again, the best way to kind of showcase the tool is to jump back again to Tim, and Tim's going to run you through a demo of the Retrain tool. And this time we're looking at it on the Strode College website. So handing back to you, Tim.
Okay.
I hope you're not all getting dizzy with this back and forth between me and Tim.
This is the last time we'll do it, so that's okay. Yes, so Retrain is very similar to Explore, and like Explore, we'd say that you should create a new kind of full width page to house it. The difference with Retrain is that it's aimed at adults who are perhaps thinking about changing their careers. So the way it works is it asks for a current or previous job, and it applies a whole set of skills and attributes to the job, and then matches it to other jobs with similar skills and attributes. So I'll just give you a quick demo here. So as Steve said, we're doing this on the Stroke College website. So this bit here is, in the middle here is the Retrain widget. And if I just put in here, let's go for electrician. So what it's doing now is it's now in the behind the scenes is it's looking at the skills and attributes that kind of be applied to the occupation electrician. And then what it's doing is it's bringing back other occupations that have similar skills and attributes. And the way that it's showing them first is it's showing the occupations that are in the same sector that in this case electrician is in, but it also shows jobs that are in other sectors as well. And just like we saw in Explore, we can see that that we've got these kind of, in this case, they're kind of blue badges because it goes with kind of Strode's branding. And again, these are the bits that kind of show us how many courses this particular college offers that are related to these occupations. So, and typical demo. There we go, it's just going a bit slow. So here we can see a bit more information about this job as we saw before. So we can see the skills and knowledge, what you'll do on a day-to-day basis, the career path and progression options, and we see our labour market information. And then we've got our related courses down here, which we can go and have a look at if we wanted to. The other thing I wanted to show you on Retrain is that what Retrain does is it can show you what the skills and attributes are for this particular occupation. If I click on this here, so you can see that what it's done is it's applied skills and attributes to these four different categories here. And you know, it can be quite useful to see these from a careers perspective, because I guess quite often adults are unable to understand the transferable skills that they might have gained through a previous employment. So what this does is this kind of clearly lays out all the attributes that they've gained, which could be really useful for writing, you know, CVs, or if they're applying for jobs, or, you know, for careers advisors to use as a kind of starting point, I guess. So yeah, so that's Retrain. Back to you, Steve, last time.
Okay, lovely. Thanks, Tim. Let me just get the screen again. Okay, so it should be back with me. So there's obviously quite a lot of clever stuff going on behind the scenes with Retrain, but as with all our Pathways tools, our aim is really to keep things simple and as engaging as possible for the user. And I think one of the key things about all these tools is that they are embedded in your website as part of your existing user journeys to help support you in your existing kind of student engagement and recruitment processes. So we're now going to talk a bit about our standalone platform, Pathways Solo. So everything we've looked at so far has all been about your website and helping highlight progression from your courses to careers to help you engage with prospective students and ultimately drive recruitment. So we were first asked a few years ago by colleges whether there was a way that we could help when they were running in-person career sessions. So having Pathways embedded across your site was great, but it wasn't that easy to refer to when you were running focus sessions around careers. So Pathways Solo brings all of the digital tools into one standalone platform tied to your Pathways account for you to use as a careers resource at schools liaison sessions, open events, or any type of in-person session when you're helping students to understand future careers. So for those of you that already use Pathways Solo, you might notice a bit of a change here, a bit of a visual refresh in the appearance of the tool. So we've just upgraded Pathways Solo to feel, or to be, a much more kind of substantial careers resource, and it's now branded with your colours and your logo. So this refresh you see here should be coming online later in the week. So if you do use this, make sure you go into your Pathways account and upload your college logo. So it'll then appear in the top left-hand corner of the tool. I'm going to show just a couple of examples of people using Pathways Solo. I won't spend too much time because Tim's already demoed the digital tools, but just so you get a sense of what they are. So we have here East Durham College. So this is their version of Pathways Solo. You'll see their logo in the top left-hand corner, and it's branded with their kind of lime kind of colors. And this is the landing page for Pathways Solo, sort of introducing students to this kind of careers resource. And then you can dip into the different sections. So you can jump into Explore, and essentially this loads up your version of Explore. So it loads it in the tool. So I don't need to demo this because Tim's already demoed the Explore tool, but it's right here in Pathways Solo. We can go into the section that's called Progress, which is all about progression. So that's using Pathways 1, the progression from courses, and the job sector tool. So if you're running a session and somebody kind of comes up and says, oh, I really want to know where a BTEC in business can take me, then you can use this tool. You can use the search bar, type in business, pick out the BTEC in business. This then loads up that version of Pathways 1, which is mapping all of that progression data to a BTEC in business. We can also jump to the job sector tool, again, that Tim demoed, so you can then dive in. If you're running a session, let's say with engineering students and want to look at possible careers, you can jump into that section of the tool and kind of have sort of discussions and pick up various attributes about the careers within the engineering sector. And then finally, we have the Retrain tool in here as well. So again, I probably don't need to demo it, but it's Pathways Explore is a place where all your digital tools are in one place to help you run those kind of in-person events where people are coming up and talking to you about different types of careers. So that's East Durham College. I think I have, yep, I've got a version there for colleague Gwent, just to show, you can change the colors and the logo to match your specific brand. So again, just wanted to highlight some of the benefits of using Pathways Solo. And I think a key thing to highlight here is that Solo can be an integral tool in your existing careers program. It doesn't only have to be used as a marketing tool. I've got a quote here from St Brenda's College, who use Pathways Solo at their open events and get a lot of value from doing that. So the last of the 5 products that we're talking about today is our Pathways Infographics. And again, they were born from a conversation with a college who wanted to use some of the Pathways LMI and careers information, but away from their website, to support those conversations with students on social media around careers. So from within your Pathways accounts, you can customize and download social media cards and A4 posters. Again, the best way to show this is probably to do a quick demo. So I'm just going to do this quickly. Probably don't need to pass back to Tim again. So I have a tab open here, which is, so I'm logged in to our Pathways account, and across the top, you'll see we have some tabs. I've clicked on the infographics one. So this is where you generate the infographics. So you can see we have 4 different types. We've got 2 social media cards and 2 A4 posters. So what I need to do is I need to choose a job. So you can pick from these 360 different jobs. So if I'm going to choose, I'll choose architect. I will tweak the color to be some kind of lime green. And I'm going to click generate infographic. And what that does, that creates this JPEG image, essentially, that you can then download and use wherever you want. So it's this version is sized nicely to fit on Twitter. So let's say you're trying to raise the profile of a particular course, you're putting out some information on Twitter, you could support that with an infographic about the job that somebody might go on to do. So that's the reason it's sized as it is. We also have a square version of the social media card. So if you're using tools like Instagram, you want something square, so we can generate that version. So again, I'll just tweak the color, press generate infographic. And this time you'll see it's now creating a square version. The data is the same because we're still looking at an architect. Obviously, I changed the color. And again, it's a JPEG image. You can download and use however you want. And then the next one is the A4 poster. So what I'll do, I'll keep it set to architect just for ease, and I'll change the color again. And I'm going to press generate infographic. And what this is now doing is generating all of the data. That went a bit funny. Let me do that again. Always happens when you're doing a demo. And there we go. So this is obviously formatted for an A4 poster. So all of the data you see here is the same information that we saw in the digital tool. It's formatted and laid out so it works in a poster format. So it's showing your salary, it's showing the predicted employments, apprenticeship options, and common study routes. And again, it's a JPEG image, so you can download that and print off and use in your classrooms or use in sessions wherever you feel posters are relevant. And then the last type of poster we have is a job sector poster. So this time we can choose one of the 26 job sectors that Tim's already looked at. So let's say we pick engineering. I'm going to change that color again. And we press generate infographic. And now what that's doing, that's going off and finding the top 8 jobs in the engineering job sector that I chose. And it's creating a very bright pink poster from my choice. So again, the data you've seen here is what we see in the digital tool, but it's just using it in poster format, just really to help you engage with people away from the screen if you're doing any kind of sessions in and around college. And again, it's a JPEG image that you can download. So that's kind of how you generate those infographics. It's all done in your Pathways account. So what I wanted to do is just to show a few examples of how we see colleges using the infographics across their different forms of marketing that they do. And for us, it's really interesting to see how these are being used, because we can't track this with analytics because they're not digital tools. So we love to hear how and where you're using the infographics in your own kind of marketing reaches. So this is Hopwood Hall College's Twitter account, where they're engaging through careers to highlight a particular course that they have on offer. Chelmsford College ran a summer campaign where they tweeted different careers throughout the whole summer period. This is an example from Instagram, where Havant and South Down College have taken the rectangular infographic and customized it with their own graphics to make something quite engaging to fit on Instagram. This is a page from a college leaflet from Moulton College. Sorry, the chat just popped up there. Okay, somebody's just said that they use the graphics as well, which was super handy. So brilliant, thank you. So this college, Moulton College, use it in their leaflet, which shows you the type of jobs that people go on to do for a particular course. And Chelmsford College use our careers data in their prospectuses, and they've actually extracted some of the careers data out of Pathways and are using it, against their own branding to fit into their prospectus design. So for us, as I mentioned, it's great to be able to showcase the different ways that colleges are using this careers data. So if you are, please let us know, because we can kind of share it with others just to show different ways that these things are working. So we've got a quote here from Courtney from Selby College, who I know uses the A4 posters a lot, especially when engaging with schools and helping the students think about careers and what qualifications they might need. And then again, as before, we've just included a benefits slide, just really to pick up on some of the aspects that we've discussed. With the infographics, we're kind of trying to give you this new way to raise awareness of a huge variety of career options away from your website. So I think we're kind of almost there in what we planned to cover today. I realized there was a lot there, and we've maybe gone through it quite quickly, but hopefully it was valuable. I mean, I think, in terms of where we're going next, where Pathways is going next, well, a lot of that is really up to you. I mean, hopefully you've seen how the input from colleges has steered the development of Pathways, and really long may that continue. I mean, as I said right at the start, we want to provide you with the tools you need in your student recruitment processes and to raise the profile of kind of progression to careers. A few things here that have been mentioned recently to us, so work that we're considering or kind of think about working through. So the ability to save profile quiz answers is one thing that somebody's asked. To help manage feedback when you're running career sessions, somebody's asked if we can kind of provide tools to help manage the feedback from those sessions. When you embed Explore on your website, we're looking at the option you can choose whether to that user sees the quiz first or sees the careers library first. And we've also had requests for custom photographs on infographics. So all sort of things that we're currently thinking about how we can do. One piece of work that we're nearly complete on is we've done a complete rebuild of the analytics system that runs behind Pathways. The tools have grown so much over the last 3 years, excuse me, as have their usage, to a point where we're now seeing around 2 million interactions per month. And what worked when we first started has needed a bit of an upgrade. So whilst you won't see too much of a difference on the front end, the kind of analytics solution will be much more robust, future-proof, and will load much faster in your kind of Pathways admin as well. So that's really us, really. Hopefully that's been interesting. We'd love to hear any questions you might have. We've got the chat screen open if anyone wants to ask anything. If anyone wants to unmute themselves to also ask, that would be absolutely fine. Up on the screen there, we've got our contact details. So if you want to, give us a call or fire over an email to ask something, again, absolutely fine. Anyone got anything they'd like to ask?
I think one of the things that always comes up as a question from colleagues is around price, and I know that it's a very affordable tool.
Very affordable.
I think prices are on your website, aren't they, Stephen?
Yeah.
I think
so
memory. Yeah.
If you come to our website and scroll down, I should say we've got a new website launching maybe tomorrow, so it won't look like this if you come and look at the website tomorrow, but it's bigger and better, and the pricing is still there. So at the moment, down the bottom, you can basically, there's 4 tiers of pricing depending on the size of your college, from $995 up to $3,995, and you can see it's based on the number of full-time students. So you can use that little slider to show the price. So your college will fall into one of those 4 brackets of pricing. So somebody just asked a question, does it integrate with websites that use content management systems? Yes, absolutely. And that's how the majority of colleges use it. So when you get a Pathways account, you get access to be able to create the embed code, which you can then put into your content management system, and that will make Pathways appear on the page. There's a few ways that works. We've got a few options it all depends on your system there, what you'd like to do, what type of control you have in your CMS. So absolutely, yes. I mean, if you want to send us an email, we can kind of talk you through that in a bit more detail. That's absolutely no problem.
I have to say as well, it's really easy to embed. It's not, you don't need to be a real techie in order to achieve it, do you? So
No.
it is really good.
I think if you're used to embedding a YouTube video, it's the same. It's just that little snippet of code that you're given. You can then just pop that in your CMS.
Yeah.
So has anyone got any? Oh, do we have?
So question, colleges using this with Pro Solutions MIS system, where co-status feeds to. So quite possibly, I mean, we have nearly 80 colleges using it now, and as you know, all colleges use some form of MIS system to pull it through. There's, excuse me. So there's different ways, as I said, you can embed it. So one of the ways that, so colleges who embed it on their course pages. So rather than, I mean, it's difficult to explain this without having shown you the demo of embedding it, but the answer is yes, you can do it. And what some people do is there's something called auto mapping that we offer, where you put one line of code into your course webpage template, and then you can use our system to map which version of Pathways appears on each course page. So it's really simple. It's quite hard to demo without showing you on the screen. But again, Mark, if you want to get in touch, we can do some kind of demo with you. Absolutely fine.
And actually, if you do it that way, then actually we can do the mapping for you if you wanted. So that's it's another bonus of doing it that way. So
somebody's asked about bilingual options. So currently, no. It has been asked before about Welsh versions, because we have a Welsh college using it currently, and they asked the question. In the end, they didn't require it. And it's not something we currently do, but it is something we've kind of looked into before. So, but right now it doesn't. It's just so we're kind of clear. It is, but it has been mentioned before.
Yeah. Anything else?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like I mentioned, I mean, I'm sure Emma will share our details, or it was on the slide. But if anyone wants to kind of follow up, please do. I mean, we do online demos with colleges to kind of show the tool, a bit like we've done today, but we can kind of answer any specific questions over those demos. So again, just get in touch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is really easy to embed. I've used it at previous college, and I'm working with it now at another college. So you'll have to excuse my dog if he barks. But yeah, it is really easy to embed and to use, and I just think it's a really great tool. It ticks a lot of boxes, I think, for colleges. So yeah, if we and those who have sent their apologies who couldn't attend as well. And like Stephen says, if you've got any questions, then please get in touch with the guys, and I'll put the contact details on the email when I send it out.
Yeah, fantastic.
Brilliant.
Well,
thank you, everybody.
everybody.
I think that's it then.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a wrap.
Good.
So thank you very much, Stephen and Tim. Absolute pleasure. Thank you for supporting the College Marketing Network as always. And yeah, I'm sure you'll get a lot of calls off this now.
Great.
That's fine. No problem at all. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks very much, everybody. Cheers, then.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.